Halloween's nearly upon us, so this is a quick clip with some common sense Halloween safety tips that you may not have thought of. This is primarily for parents with small children who will be going out trick or treating. Visibility is a very, very big factor. So when we think of safety, we tend to think of not letting your kids go out by themselves, make sure there's grown up there so that they don't get kidnapped or whatever. We also have to understand that there's going to be cars driving about. That is what we need to be addressing. So when you've got the costumes, try if you can to get the costumes to be of a lighter colour. I know if they're going as a witch or whatever, but there's a tendency to use all black. If they are wearing a costume of quite dark colours, because I know sometimes with small children, no matter how much you try to get across to them that they need to wear something else, they'll throw a fit and it's just easy to put them in the dark colour. I get that. Get the reflective strips that you can get for when you're on your bicycle and put them around ankles and put them around wrists of the kids. If you can, get them to carry their sweets in the plastic pumpkins that you can carry. You can get plastic pumpkins that light up. Get them light up ones, make sure they stay lit. A little trick you can do that kids don't click that it's a safety measure is glow sticks. Get them glow sticks and get them to carry glow sticks. They'll usually enjoy that because it's something a bit different. If you can, use face paint other than masks. The reason being is that masks can be quite restrictive on breathing, and they can also limit how well children can see. And if a child can't see properly, there's a good chance that they'll run out into either somebody else or into traffic, and we don't want that. Make sure that the parents, if they're going out as a group and one or two parents looking after them, make sure that the parents are in constant contact with the other parents who are at home. And constant contact doesn't mean be on the phone the entire time. It just means that once you get to the furthest point from where you started, send them a quick text message and just every few minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever, just keep in contact with the other parents that might be worried. Plan the route you're going to take them. Don't go off route, plan the route. Don't obviously take them to houses where the lights are off or that don't look inviting. If there's a house that's got all the lights on and they've got all the decorations, that's obviously a key indication that these people are ready for trick-or-treating. Don't cross the road. If you're going to do a street, go up one side, then cross the far end and come down the other. Don't constantly keep crisscrossing. Be aware that although you might be very responsible, there are people who are driving who may have had a very long day at work. They might be under the influence, unfortunately, and they're not going to be paying as much attention. So do make sure that the kids are corralled as best as you can, which isn't always easy, I know. Make sure that the kids know not to wander off or to run off, which they'll do if they're all hyper and excited. Make sure the rule is in place that they don't eat anything until they get home. It's a myth that people each year drug sweets. They don't. It happened one time in America in the 60s, and that was a psychotic woman who did. She put arsenic in sweets for teenagers who she felt were too old to be trick or treating. It's a one-time event that happened in, I think, New Jersey was where it was, I believe. But it's a one-time event that people have just kept perpetrating as a Halloween myth. It doesn't happen. People don't put razor blades in apples either. It doesn't happen. The problem could be food allergies. So don't let the kids eat anything until you get home where you've had a chance to sift through everything and make sure that they're not eating anything with allergies. Just checking my notes. Weather. Of course, the weather can change, the weather's cold, so even though the costume looks pretty cool, make sure your kids are wearing layers so they don't get freezing cold. One really important thing as well, which is, it's not so much a safety thing as it is a pet peeve of mine. If you are going out with the kids, then pay attention to the kids. Don't be dicking around on your phone the entire time. Pay attention to your children. Enjoy the look on their faces when they get the sweets. Enjoy the look on their faces when another grown-up pretends to be scared by their costume. Because truthfully, you don't have that long with your kids doing trick-or-treating. They're not going to be trick-or-treating forever. Make the most of it while you can. Whatever the phone call is, it's not that important. You don't need to know the sport result that desperately that you can't give an hour and a half attention to your kids. So pay attention to your kids and make the most of them while you've got them. what I would suggest, although it's not an easy thing to do, is rather than getting everybody out and going trick or treating, which is a lot of fun, I agree, organise a party somewhere. Um, Town hall, church hall, community centre, whatever it is. It's safer and easier to monitor what's going on if you've got all the kids crowded in one room. You can still, decorate it up to be spooky, and you can have games that they play to get sweets. You can hide sweets in things that they've got to smash open. Kids love smashing stuff open. You can do all that where you've got them in one place where you know they're safe, where you can sit and relax a little bit more. So you can still have the Halloween spooktacular type of festivities, but it's much safer because it's in one place. Um, Let me just check my notes. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got on this. Again, you don't need to take on board everything I'm saying. If you have kids and you've been raising kids for years and you know better, then by all means, I don't mind. It's just a couple of things that I was jotting down notes as I was walking around today. These are things that sort of stuck out in my head. Um, if you are letting your kids go off trick or treating by themselves, in that really weird phase where they're too old to go around with parents, but not old enough to actually be allowed out by themselves, make sure they stay in a group. Make sure that they have a phone with them. Make sure that they contact you relatively constantly. Make sure that there's a planned route that they've got to go to. Make sure that there's houses that they have to go to. If you plan with your neighbours and with friends that you know that live on a couple of streets away, if they're sticking to the planned route, your friends will contact you to say, yeah, they've just been here and they're on the route. It's just a little way of keeping them safe. If you do it with your neighbours and not them, it gives them the independence where they're not feeling like you're monitoring them, but you're also keeping an eye on them because the neighbours have contacted you to say, they've just been here. That's pretty much it. Obviously, remind your kids when they go out, don't go to any houses that they're not entirely sure of. Don't go into houses at all. Reiterate to your children that they don't go into houses, they don't go into cars. Um, don't go to any houses that aren't very brightly lit on the front step or the porch. Really, I mean, I don't want to scare anybody because it's Halloween. I don't want to worry anybody more than they already are doing about their kids. But these things need to be reminded of. It's all very well going. No, won't happen to us. Won't happen to us. It does happen, unfortunately. But hopefully, these little things will keep you a little bit safer. I'm more concerned, I think, with making sure you put reflective strips on the kids' costumes, or getting them not brightly coloured costumes, but just light coloured so that they can be picked up out in your peripheral vision as opposed to looking right at them. And the light up uh, plastic pumpkins that you got for carrying the food. That's always good. It's just something to give drivers basically a tip off that there are little kids there, because unfortunately not everybody's paying attention. Um, that's all from me, I think, on this. If you've got any comments or suggestions, please do feel free to comment. Please do feel free to share this clip or to rip me off shamelessly and just pass the information along to other people, because it really is more about getting the information out there and keeping kids safe. Happy Halloween.